When you think of what Jesus may look like, you may think of a tall Caucasian man with light flowing brown hair. That's the image typically shown in Bibles, paintings, statues, and in movies and on TV throughout the world. Forensic anthropologists disagree with that depiction, and they've come up with a face that they believe more closely resembles what the true Jesus Christ would have looked like based on scientific findings and references in the Bible. According to Popular Mechanics, Richard Neave, a retired medical artist from the University of Manchester in England, drew a sketch of Jesus based on forensic anthropological research, the same tactic investigators often use to solve crimes in which the victim is otherwise unidentifiable. Neave's recreation differs dramatically from some traditional depictions, which often show the religious figure as a light-skinned, slender man with flowing hair. Neave's image shows a dark-skinned man with dark eyes, a wide nose, a short beard, and short curly hair, as well as a tanned complexion. Without a skeleton, what remains that can be confirmed as Jesus, and a lack of physical descriptions in the New Testament, many previous images have been based either on the society in which the painter or sculptor lived or hearsay. With this in mind, Neave used a technique called forensic anthropology as well as fragments of information from the Bible to create a portrait that may resemble the religious figure. Neave teamed up with Israeli archaeologists to analyze ancient Semite skulls to recreate Jesus' face. He and his team then used computer programs to recreate the skin and muscle overlaying the skulls. The shape of the skulls were also used to predict features including the eyes, lips, and nose. Of course, analysis of the skull did not reveal the color of Jesus' eyes or how his hair looked. So Neave's team studied 1st century artwork from various archaeological sites created before the Bible was written. From these works, they hypothesized Jesus had dark eyes and likely had a beard in keeping with Jewish traditions at the time. Most images of Christ portray a man with long straight hair. However, not only was this hairstyle uncommon among men at the time, it was even described in the Bible by the Apostle Paul as being disrespectful. It's highly unlikely Paul, being such a devout follower, would say this about Christ. Most scholars, according to Popular Mechanics, therefore believe Christ to have had short, tight curls instead. This does contradict the long-haired image seen in the Shroud of Turin, which is believed by some to bear the image of Christ when he was wrapped in a cloth after his death on the cross. And finally, using the average build of a Semite male at the time, they theorized Jesus would likely have been just over 5 feet. And since he worked outdoors as a carpenter until he was about 30, the scientists reasoned he would be stronger and more weather-beaten than usually depicted. While we will likely never know exactly how Christ looked, many scholars agree Neave's depiction is more historically accurate than those found in Christian books, and it definitely looks different than that piece of toast. But let me know your thoughts. Do you believe this image of Christ is more historically accurate? Do you think it looks more like Jesus than Jim Carnvizel? And does it even really matter what Jesus looked like? Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. See you later.